everybody, we're here at the Louisiana Purchase Gardens and Zoo, actually in a new part of the zoo, in fact. I'm joined by Miss Lisa Taylor, as always. Thank you for being here.
Good morning, Jessica. Good morning, everybody out there.
It is not quite ready yet, but this is the new Louisiana Purchase exhibit, so eventually you'll be able to come here and experience so much, including these turtles.
Correct. We have these beautiful little box turtles that we're going to feature today on the segment. And I'm sure a lot of people here in Louisiana are familiar with these guys because they can live in your backyard and you don't even know they're there.
Yeah, and you know, they're terrestrial, right? They're not, you know, water turtles.
Yeah, Jessica, these guys are terrestrial, but they do like to go in the water. They cannot swim, so they don't go in basically over their heads.
Okay.
But they will go in the water to cool down or to cross little streams to get to the other side where the good food is, stuff like that. But don't confuse these guys with aquatic turtles because they are not.
Aquatic turtles, that's the word, not water turtles. And so these guys, I mean, you could see them on the edges of the bayou too, just sitting on the logs, things like that.
Yeah, so these guys are called box turtles because basically they look like a box, Jessica. When they are feel threatened by a predator, they can go all the way into their shell. And
just like that?
Just like that. And then there's this little hinge on the plastron part of the shell, which closes up. And so no turtle parts are exposed. Their head, their legs, all tucked inside. If a predator comes up, he can kind of, you know, probably bite their shell a little bit, roll them around, whatever. The turtle's not going to come out. And then when the predator or the threat is gone, they open back up and cruise out and are on their way.
Make a quick escape.
Yes. So not a whole lot of predators for these guys. When they're about this size, they can get 4 to 8 inches. Okay. And coyotes, mainly raccoons, crows, things like that, go for them, but they can protect themselves. But when they're tiny babies, because you know these guys lay between 7 and 14 eggs underground, and they hatch out, and so they're a little tiny. They're about probably the size of a quarter when they hatch out. That's when they're most vulnerable to a predator.
Right. Yep. And so shells too, we're talking about that. They're different for these two different species of box turtle, right?
Yes, there's about 7 different species of box turtles. The most common ones that we see here in North Louisiana is probably going to be the eastern box turtle. Okay. They have a lot of red coloring on their legs, and they have a high dome shell. You know, also on the bottom. Now, a lot of people think that turtles can come out of their shells and leave their shell behind and go find another shell. That's not how it works. The shell is actually attached to their body. They need it in order to be able to walk. Their spine is actually attached to the shell, and the shell grows with the tortoise or the turtle. And everything is super vascular. The shell's made out of keratin, just like your fingernail. And inside the shell, a lot of blood vessels, so they can feel when you touch them or scratch them or anything like that. It's really cool. And these guys, like I said, a lot of kids are fascinated with turtles. I know I am also. And we can hear Rocco and him in the background right now.
He said, "What are y'all doing?
He wants in on this interview."
He does. He's right behind the fencing there. And real quickly, one of the last things, they are burrowing animals. You know, they'd like to find shelter in burrows, so you might not even notice them, but they are underground. Yeah,
so they'll go under, and then especially in wintertime, guys, you know, these guys are reptiles. We have crazy weather here in Louisiana, as y'all know. So when it gets like into freezing temperatures, these guys go underground where it's warmer. Their heart rate slows down, their metabolism slows down, and they wait until the spring when the ground starts warming up, and that's the key for them to come on out. Now, one more thing, Jessica. You know, a lot of people eat turtles. But guess what? You do not want to eat a box turtle, and this is why. These guys love to eat mushrooms, and they are poisonous to humans. So, don't eat a turtle. And one more good thing, guys. You see a turtle crossing the road, or you see these guys out there, just move him across the road. Don't take him like a couple miles down or take him to your house and turn him loose, only because these guys have a crazy homing device inside of them, and they live within 1 to 2 acres of where they're born. And that's their territory. And you don't want to mess up where they know where they get the good stuff, all their little shopping spots.
Right, and then if you move them, they can't necessarily get back. So, and move them in the direction they're going. That's always another tip you give.
You got it, Jessica.
I love that. Great information. We'll have more information on KNOE.com after the show.